Good evening, everyone. Today is 30th of December 2015, our last price action training school webinar in this year. So we're going to finish this year with RSI and CCI in depth. And I hope that you had a profitable year. If you still are not profitable, this is what we will be working on. And of course, with our price action training school and our daily analysis, the tide should turn in your favor. So today, price action training school, I still see people coming in, which is good, considering it's 30 of December. So we are good to go. Before I begin, as always, our standard is disclaimer. Explain that online education materials are available by Admiral Markets Estonia for a global audience. Please take into consideration that information in this session may not be suitable for everyone. To get a corresponding information on charting conditions and any other detail, you should visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact an appropriate entity. There is disclosure statement stating all possible risks associated with Forex market. By accepting the risk, you're also proceeding further with me. And final part explaining that Admiral Markets UK takes no responsibility for information accuracy. This is solely my opinion, and Forex is risky business. So this is for informational and educational purposes only. Of course, download Admiral Markets Supreme Edition, log into your trader's room, and trade with Empowered MT4. You're trading with the officially best MT4 broker. Today's agenda: what is RSI? RSI explained. Then we will talk about special pattern, which is called RSI Failure Swings, okay, or RFS. CCI explained, and then special pattern, which is CCI trend lines. Okay, so this will be our RSI and CCI entry in our price action training school, and pay attention to this. So RSI is a relative strength index, okay? Wells Wilder created it to display the strength behind the move and to spot a possible exhaustion of the move. In that case, I know that many traders refer to CCI as a lagging indicator. I have studied RSI back in past, and even some time ago I have posted on Forex Factory. I can say that in my opinion, and I am very certain in my opinion, that RSI is actually a leading indicator. So it is an oscillator in its nature, but because it's mirroring the price action, it's considered to be a leading indicator. So no matter if others tell you that RSI is lagging, no, it's a leading indicator. Okay. With RSI, we can spot a trend, we can draw trend lines, and we can use it for divergence. Oscillator in its nature, RSI comprises a special calculation which is calculated by the previous bars, and on default it is 14. Okay, overbought and oversold levels are used to represent the special highs and lows of the oscillator itself, and they are 70 and 30. If you add 50 to RSI, it will add a momentum. Okay, so when we see that RSI is above 50, we consider it a bullish momentum. If RSI goes above 70, we consider it overbought. If our RSI has just crossed 50 to the downside, it means that the price has bearish momentum. If the RSI crossed 30, it means that it's in oversold territory. Okay? And it's bound to a special pattern which is unique to RSI, which is called RFS, or RSI Failure Swing. So this is the example of a chart, and you see it has RSI oscillator down below. So this is RSI on 14 period. Okay. Net is saying screen stuck, guys. I need to check. Do you see the screen with the chart? It's RSI explained. It should be there. It's okay, Net. So yes, it's okay. So the screen is okay. So this is, you see, pound dollar, 1 hour chart, RSI. Now, considering RSI, it's for this type of overbought, oversold, it doesn't matter the time frame which you are trading it. So it can represent overbought on 1 hour, on oversold, or overbought and oversold, or 15 minutes. So it doesn't matter. But the thing is, when we come to RSI failure swings, the higher the time frame, the better. So in this example, I will use just to show you overbought and oversold territory. So when we see that RSI is above 70, it's already overbought and it could drop. See, this is the example. Okay, this is the example here. You can see it here, and here it indicates a drop. When RSI is at oversold territory, as here, it indicates a possible upside. Now, you always should follow RSI and compare it to price action. We already know what represents a trend. It's a series of highs and lows. In this case, this is a high, and this is low here, right? Now we have a lower high, and here we have a lower low, right? So this is now a downtrend. Now, if RSI goes below 30 and it goes above 30 again, that means that it's still in downtrend, but this is retracement, okay? So this is just a retracement. So you should not follow RSI as a definite trend indicator. As you already know, we will measure the trend and we will consider a trend by using our price action series of higher highs. On uptrend, it's higher highs and higher lows. On downtrend, it's lower highs and low lows. We can also use MACD in the way as I have presented it, but RSI is not used in that sense. I know that a lot of systems say if RSI is above 50, it's uptrend. If RSI is below 50, it's downtrend. It's actually momentum, because you don't define RSI as a trend. It can give you the indication of a trend. Okay, here you can see it here. Indeed, this means that the overall current trend here is bullish. The current trend is bullish here. But if you see a bigger picture, this is just a retracement here. Although you have 3 bullish consecutive candles, and you can see it here, there was a confirmation. But still we can consider it basically a downtrend. Now here, guys, you can also see inverted head and shoulders. And yes, here it was a breakout, and RSI also was trying to reach 70. So this is indeed uptrend. But you don't need RSI to tell you the exact trend. You can observe it by watching price action. Now, if you see overbought and oversold levels, I have added that it's a leading indicator which is following the price. Because when you compare price action to actual indicator, you will see that RSI is mirroring price action. So this is indicator which is leading in its nature. Okay, it's not lagging, so don't be fooled if someone tell you it's a lagging indicator. It's a leading indicator. Now, as I said, if you add 50 level to RSI, it indicates momentum. When you just watch at this point here, you can see that RSI here went widely from below 50 to above 50. So it indicated a bullish momentum. Okay, this was a bullish momentum here. Now you can also see a form of Marubozu. It's not a clear Marubozu, but this is a form of Marubozu, and you could have traded it with our special high volatility candles. Okay, so you can see it here, high volatility candles, and retrace to approximately 78.6 here. Okay, and you see it went up. So always use the knowledge of high momentum candles which I have presented you And you can also add RSI to see if there is actual upward momentum, which we can clearly see it here. Okay. Do you understand when I say high momentum trading? Because I have already showed you that in the past. It's very important for you to know that part of price action. We will also cover it in our price action training school. But I hope that you remember when I was lecturing about Marubozu candles and retracement. Yes, I think you remember. And you can trade it basically as a single candle. And that is when I say, guys, always pay attention to price action first, then the indicator. Here we can clearly see that momentum has turned bullish here. Also here you see almost instantly when RSI goes below 50 and then back above 50, it's a strong bullish momentum. It's vice versa for short trades, bearish trades. When it goes below 50, when it goes below like here, and then wildly up and then below, it indicates a strong bearish momentum. Similar principle is used in RFS, RSI failure swings. Okay, so this indicates trend strength or momentum. Okay, here you can see trend is bullish and momentum is bullish. That trend momentum is bullish. Below 50, trend momentum is bearish. Above 50, trend momentum is bullish. Default setting is 14. Mind you that it can change over time, as all indicators do, especially because it's a leading indicator. But if you want to change RSI to other value, you need to know that it requires testing, even more than MACD or other indicators, because MACD is lagging indicator and it captures a trend. RSI is leading indicator and it gives us overbought and oversold, similar to stochastic, but also it shows you bullish or bearish momentum above or below 50. Now let's talk a bit about RSI failure swings. So failure swings we use solely on RSI chart. It's much better on higher time frames, and I advise daily time frame for this. Okay, failure swing. It's a special pattern, and throughout my testing, I need to be honest. It's much better on higher time frames because pip count is higher, or a pip range is much higher on daily time frame. It can be spotted everywhere on 15 minutes or 5 minutes, 1 minute, 1 hour, but it's much better on a higher time frame. So it's a special RSI pattern, RFS or RSI failure swings. RSI bearish failure swing means when RSI goes above the overbought line, making new high. That is our first step. Okay, now you can snapshot this chart, and actually it will be good for you if you snapshot this chart, this screen. So first step, RSI goes above the overbought line, making a new high. Then bounces back below it, forming lower high below overbought. Then goes below the previous low, which is a sell point. Bullish failure swing. RSI goes below the oversold line, making new low. It bounces back above it, forming a higher low above oversold, and goes above the previous high or buy point. Okay, I will give you some time to snapshot the screen. Okay, this is a pattern which we will be using later. But now, in this case, it's good to know that you can use RSI this way. Okay, how it looks like on the chart. So step 1, 2, 3. Okay, first step is watch at indicator now. RSI has formed a high above overbought, which is 70. Okay, this is our first step. Then it makes a lower high below our bot line. So this is a high here. Okay, this is a high. And this is a lower high. So it should not go below this level. It should be a lower high. Okay? So high, lower high. And if lower high is broken to the downside, we have a sell point. And you can see it here actually, it was a sell. So 1, 2, 3, that is what we are watching. Similar on a daily chart now, and you can see the power of daily failure swings. We did low below oversold, which is exactly here at this point. Okay. So RSI needs to form a low below oversold, which is here. Then it needs to print a higher low above oversold line here. And if a higher low is broken, okay, we see a buy point here. And on daily chart, you can see it here. Actually, this was here. This was our buy spot. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now let's see it on live chart. I will add indicator. Now you will go to insert, indicators, and you go to oscillators, RSI 3070. You can add 50 if you want to watch momentum. 14 default, okay, like this. You can choose another pair. Let's see, Australian dollar. So there are a lot of examples for this. You can see it here. Okay, here. It has a low here. Then it has a higher low, so it should not break this point. Okay, this is a higher low, and this actually is here. It's a buy spot here. Even here. So this was, okay, here you can see a low. This is higher low. It didn't break this. And here, when it broke this spot here, it indicated a jump. Yeah, a small jump, but enough for 100 pips. Okay, we can spot a lot of these patterns here. It's much better to see it like this. Let's see, good example. Yeah, here it was a good example. Okay, low, higher low compared to this low here. And here it was a break of this low here. At this spot it went up 150 pips. Here overbought, then a lower high compared to this high, and break out of this spot here was actually a sell here. So this is RSI special pattern. Once more, you can snapshot it if you haven't done it already. And this is a good indication of a price movement on failure swings. But if you spot the actual patterns, they're very similar to actually our zigzags, right? Okay. But it's very good because you can use it on daily time frame, maybe not for the actual entry, but it's good to use it as a temporary trend gauge to tell you where a trend might continue, if the trend might continue or if the trend might actually reverse. Okay? So pay attention to RSI failure swings. Okay. Now, guys, if this is clear, just type it yes so we can continue. We need to cover CCI now. Needless to say, you can use CCI as overbought, oversold. You can use also trend line, whatever. But this is what a lot of traders don't know, and this is what we need to cover, because most of the things with CCI are pretty much straightforward. Above 70 overbought, below 30 oversold. A lot of systems use RSI indicators, but in price action, this is actually an advantage if you use it in price action to give you a swing, failure swing. At least you can use this to give you a possible confirmation of a bullish or bearish move. CCI, or Commodity Channel Index, is an oscillator which was originally introduced by Donald Lambert. It is very popular amongst traders. CCI main levels are -100 and +100. It's widely used in scalping purposes on lower time frames. And I personally know some scalping systems which use CCI on 5-minute time frame to actually scalp the market. It can also be used as a trend gauge similar to RSI. It can also be used for breakouts with trend lines applied, which we will cover today as a special CCI patterns, CCI trend lines. As with many oscillators, it can be used as a divergence tool. It can be used as a divergence tool. Okay? Karen is asking, why haven't you included stochastic with RSI and CCI? Because we had stochastic and MACD, Caroline, in the previous lesson, if you remember, and we wouldn't have enough time to present stochastic, RSI, and CCI. So if you remember last webinar, we had stochastic and MACD, if I remember correctly. And I think the webinar is uploaded. So if you want to listen to it, you should find it on Admiral Market channel. But also, it was not just about the time. It's also because when you're in school or university, your professor usually does not include 5 lessons in a single class, right? It would be stupid from a professor to do that. And me being an educator also, I don't think that it's productive to use 4 different lessons in an hour time, because it's too much to remember. It's always better to go step by step. CCI is an oscillator and it's leading indicator, Apostolos. It's also leading indicator. It has some similarities to RSI and stochastic, but in this example and how we use it in price action, it's definitely for divergence, which we will cover in future lessons, and trend lines. Okay, so we use it for divergence and trend lines. Okay, I have come to believe that CCI is better in representing divergence than it's actually stochastic. So my opinion is that CCI can be used in price action as a divergence indicator. Okay. Now, usage of CCI can be applied with 4 different purposes. Overbought and oversold. Okay, it's 100 and -100. Then divergence, which we will be covering in later sessions. Then we can also use it as trend gauge and definitely as breakouts. Okay, we can go with breakouts, which is also the topic for this webinar. So breakouts, overbought, oversold, and divergence. Also, don't forget that there are different settings for CCI. 14, we can use 14, but also we can use 20. I have tested some settings, and I find that 20 is also very, very useful. Okay, so as you can see it here from the chart, it's actually a little bit, it's not that smooth as it's actually RSI. It has some ups and downs, but the main thing, it's very good in divergence spotting, just because it uses a lot of these peaks and top peaks and bottom peaks like this. It's very good for divergence. For divergence, I personally use a CCI histogram, okay? Not a standard MT4, but actually a CCI histogram. Okay, so for trend, if CCI is above 100, we consider it bullish. If it's below minus 100, we consider it bearish. Now, pay attention. We already said that CCI is overbought above 100 and oversold below minus 100. But actually, if you place CCI on a daily time frame, you can use it for a trend purpose. If CCI is above 100 and above zero line on daily, the trend is up. If CCI is below minus 100 and below zero line on daily, the trend is down. Okay, but only on daily time frame, not on 4 hour, 1 hour. Because if you use it on 1 hour, it actually can be a sign of really overbought and oversold. While on daily, it's considered a trend indicator. On lower time frames, it can be easily identified as overbought and oversold. Okay, so these are my testings, and I will show you now why I think so later in live chart. So one of the ideas to use CCI is actually, while CCI is above 100 and above zero line on daily, the trend is up, then you'll zoom in to lower time frames and you should find an entry. Now we don't talk, and we are not talking about specific entries, okay? I'm not referring to specific entries. I'm referring to actually trend representation of CCI. So if we spot that it's above 100 on daily, we should look for long entries on lower time frames. Okay, so you can see it on daily time frame. Look at this, guys, here. Actually, this was a good example because, guys, watch this. If you were watching this on lower time frames, it could be easily overbought and the price could drop, right? But here, look at this. It actually gives us a strong indication that the trend is to the upside. So as long as it's above zero line, okay, and above 100, the trend is up. Look at this. Above 100, look. Now, a lot of people will tell me now, okay, if I spot this, if I had spotted this on daily, it wouldn't mean that the trend, it would mean that the trend is to the downside. But the thing is, no, actually it's not. So one of the tricks of CCI is, if it's used on lower time frames, it can be identified as overbought and oversold. If it's used on daily time frame, it can be identified as a trend indicator. Look at this, guys. Below zero line here, and now below here, below minus 100. So trend is bearish. Look at this. Look how many days should have passed in order to actually trend to turn bullish. Here, the trend is bullish now. Watch this. A good representation of a trend. And actually, this could be good for people who want to swing trade, okay? So on daily time frame, CCI is used as a trend indicator. On lower time frames, it can go as overbought and oversold indicator. So watch this again. Look at this. Minus 100 and below zero line, the trend is down. And look how many days it should have passed until the trend turned to the upside. Here the trend has turned and this is uptrend. Here the trend is to the downside. Look at this. Here the trend is to the downside. Here, and look at this, still above zero line and still the upside trend. You see it here. CCI went above 100 here. It was actually this spot here. And look at this, it stayed above zero line even here, signaling that the trend is still to the upside. So that is CCI as a trend indicator. Now special pattern, CCI trend lines. This is a special pattern and we use it for breakouts with trend lines. You need to chart trend lines on CCI indicator, okay? So you don't chart trend lines only on chart. You chart trend lines on CCI indicator. When CCI breaks peak above 100 and trend line at the same time or a little bit after, as long as CCI is above 100, we consider breakout valid and we take the entry. We can also trade classic trend line breakouts with overbought or oversold conditions. Okay? Look at this. M5. Now we are using it on lower time frames, not on higher time frames. CCI 14, look at this. Above 100, it's overbought. Look at this. Trend line here, look at this, CCI. Went below and confirmed a down move. Look at this. First, price broke the trend line, then actually CCI also broke it to the upside. Look at this. And CCI still above 100. So classic trend line break here and classic CCI breakout. Okay? Now, it's very important for you to distinguish two things. Trend line breaks, classic trend line breaks with CCI, and CCI breakouts are used on lower time frames because of overbought and oversold condition. Confirmation for a trend is used on daily time frames. So in the future, we might combine a confirmation of a daily trend with actually overbought and oversold trend line breakouts. I think that the idea is good, guys, and we need to work on that, but the idea is definitely good. So if daily CCI confirms an uptrend, we can try to spot a trend line breakouts in the trend direction, and vice versa for short trades. If CCI is indicating a short trend, we can try to exploit breakouts in bearish trend direction, guys. So that is the idea which we will be working on in our future webinars. Okay, so okay, now this is the time for a live chart. Okay, we go with CCI now. So on daily time frame, like this, when it's above 100, we say the trend is to the upside. And for that day, we are taking only long entries, guys. Now let's use euro-dollar example. Now it's, see? Now it's going below zero line. Here it was a long. See here, across, and we go with short entries for days to come until it breaks zero line, okay? So this is how you confirm it, CCI. Below minus 100 and below zero, it's downtrend. Above 100 and while above zero line, it's uptrend. In between, you need to define it first. Okay, so this was a downtrend here. And until this point here, it was a downtrend. But also, you can see it here again. Back down, back down, back down. See how it goes again below zero line. Here, uptrend. Above 100, uptrend. See, this was uptrend. Uptrend, uptrend, up, up, up. And here, we are now in no man's land. Confirmation for downtrend came here, and you can see it there. So this is how you use it on daily time frame. On lower time frame, you can use as a trend line break. And divergence we will cover in a separate class. Okay? Trend line breakouts, guys. Very good to use it as entry. As an entry. Look at this. Trend line from overbought here. Look at this. Clear breakout here, and the price followed it. So you need to learn how to draw trend lines on the indicator itself. Look at this trend line here. You just need to connect those peaks here. And look at this, a breakout here to the upside. Okay? Look at this. Connecting peaks, guys. Connecting peaks. Actually, this was a trend line breakout, so this trend line is not valid here. Look at this. Okay, here, look at here, and look at this. Confirmation here, but look at this. CCI leading indicator. This is a good representation that CCI is indeed a leading indicator. Look at this. It broke a trend line here, and on a chart, price chart, it broke a trend line at this point here. Look at this. Okay, let's use, you can use it also on 15-minute time frame. Still good, look at this. And a breakout. You can find a lot of different examples. You just need to learn how to connect those peaks. Peak 1, peak 2, and peak 3 here. Watch this. You can make it a little bit like this, okay? Look at the retest here. Okay. Look at the retest here. CCI, and look at price. It's basically price is CCI goes first sometimes, and then price follows it here. Here, bang, down. Here, So one of the examples which we used in our price action CCI and RSI is definitely trend line charting. So try to practice it. Try to practice it because this could be important in our future studies of price movements compared to price action indicators. Okay? So guys, if anything is not clear, now it's time for you to ask me. This is, as I was saying, our last webinar in 2015. And next year, please be sure to fully charge your batteries. Our next session recap webinar will be due on 4th of January, and we will start trading on 4th of January. That is when I will start to trade again. So 4th of January, we are back to trading. Okay, guys? I don't see any questions, and that means that everything is clear, which is great. And guys, finally, before I log off, the best plans are those that need only one right move to be made real and make the world more beautiful. This year, make that right move. Happy holidays from me and Chris and from all Admiral Markets team. Rest assured that we are here for you. We are watching over you. And as always, guys, we wish you all the best. This video will be uploaded probably after New Year, because now the whole team and management is on holiday, but it will be uploaded definitely. We will take care. I wish you again all the best to you and your families, and relax now. Don't trade until our next session recap, and the next analysis will be on 4th of January, as always, standard. Thank you, Ron, Ilya, Nat, Derek, Isabella, Apostolos, Carolyn, Goran, Ron, and Donatas, and every one of you. Make the right move this year and stay tuned. Cheers, guys. As always, all the best in upcoming 2016.